Number one, the first one wasn't a penalty because Ollie Watkins actually his foot kicked Konate on the back of the knee before the action even happened. That's why it was whistled the foul. They showed the replay on BN Sports over here because BN Sports actually is ahead of Sky and everyone else. They showed the actual angle of which the foot of Ollie Watkins went like that into the back of Konate. That's why it was given a foul against Ollie Watkins. It was never a penalty. The other one, Pau Torres on Gravenberg. Pau Torres literally ran into Gravenberg. Once again, go look at the replay after the stream, after you've stopped being emotionally invested into a rival game, and you will understand that neither of them are a penalty. Both of them, crystal clear non-penalty. I've come here before and I've said, whenever we've gotten away with one, I've come here before and I've said...
He's talking about the Conor Bradley one, not that one.
Guys, let me speak, please. Please, let me speak. Don't interrupt my train of thought. We've come here before and we've said, look, we got away with one. The other team should have got a penalty, blah, blah, blah. I have no problem admitting this. All these guys can vouch. All of them do the same as well. No shameless Liverpool fan is here. All five of us have always said whenever we got away with a decision, we have no problem saying that. Today, we didn't get away with a single decision. Both decisions were correct. Go watch the BN Sports replay angles and you'll see why you're saying all this. Second of all, this whole Liverpool you must energy is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard in my entire life. And forget us as Liverpool fans because they're rivals. Every single one of you rivals told us in the summer, me, I'm the negative guy. I'm the repeat new joke, same joke again 500 times. I'm the slot out guy. Even I said we're going to challenge. Even I said we're going to finish third. So for you to come here after Arsenal fans predicted finishing above us, Man United fans predicted finishing above us, Chelsea fans predicted finishing above us, and the audacity, Spurs fans predicted to finish above Liverpool. And you're telling me now on November 10th or November 9th, depending where you are in this world, that I'm supposed to sit up here and say, Liverpool, you must. This is Arne Slot's first season. There is no pressure whatsoever on Liverpool Football Club. If you see people in the chat spamming the leopard and the tree emoji, I started that shit. You know why I started that? Because we're the leopard and the tree. What we're not going to do is have the guy in his 5th full season and Pep Guardiola under less pressure than Arne Slot. This is not how this works. Being 5 points ahead in November means nothing. It means absolutely zilch, nothing. I could say nothing in 15 different languages to you right now. It means nothing. Being 5 points ahead in November means nothing. And Arne Slot is the one top 6 manager out of them all that has the least pressure on him because we haven't signed anyone except No Legs Chiesa. So for you to come up here and claim that we have to win this league from this position or, you know, we have bottled it. No one bottles anything in November. Tottenham Hotspur were top of the league in November last season. What does that mean? What does that mean? They bottled top 4. They didn't bottle winning the league because that wasn't the expectation. If you had said during the summer that I'm expecting Liverpool to win the league, I respect it. If any rival fan said I'm expecting Liverpool to win the league, I respect it. But every single one of you told us Liverpool are finished. Even I didn't say that. Every single one of you said you didn't sign anyone, you're screwed, you're done, blah, blah, blah. And now you're telling me I should win the league?
Not me.
Based on what? All right. This is Arteta's 5th full season, and this is Pep Guardiola of the Manchester City, who even after winning a 4-peat, spent more money than us. How the fuck am I supposed to sit up here and say, Arne Slot, you should win the league? 1 second. This season, if Arne Slot finishes 3rd, even from this position, and wins a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, it's a successful season. It's his first full season in charge after taking over from the best manager Liverpool have ever had in the modern era. Modern era only, of course. Liverpool best manager in the modern era. Overtake him. Don't sign any single player. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So don't come up here and waffle. Your manager must, not mine.
I hear that. My manager should. And if somehow you guys
must, it, not should.
One
must,
second.
Must.
One second.
Elon Musk.
1 second. I'm not Hussam, you did not address the point that I made. The point that I made was Conor Bradley in the 57th minute took down Paulo Torres. Why was that not given?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question on this? You mentioned the Rasmus Højlund one. This is where I try and keep the same energy. I don't think Rasmus's was a penalty. The point is, okay, right. But the point is, if we all looked at the Rasmus one and said no penalty, we rightly or wrongly, and this is for me, it's not about the law. We're not debating the law. We're debating the consistency. When they give those, that's the rocking horse shit. That's the rarity. That's the inconsistency. The fact is, you just don't get penalties for those pulls. So as much as it's annoying if you know what's going to happen now, guys. You know Arsenal are conceding one for the same thing tomorrow. It's just the football gods work in those ways. But for me, none of them are penalties. And I say that because if you concede one tomorrow, you'll be fuming because you just won't see it as a foul. Yes, if it's outside the box, they're given. It was ironically, I think the commentators mentioned it 10 minutes later, there was one on the counter-attack. But the threshold is there. When Rodriguez was given for the pull from Rasmus, everybody in football said, what a load of bollocks. So I don't think we can now change the rhetoric and say, well, this should have been one as well. No, none of them should be penalties, in my personal opinion. And I promise you, Igal, just go watch the other replay angles and you'll see what I'm saying. I'm not waffling. Terry knows this. He's been working with me 3 years. Whenever we have a decision go for us, I've said this before. I've come on the football terrace and said we were lucky to get away with one there, blah, blah, blah. Right here, right now, we were not lucky whatsoever. Go watch the different angles and you will see where I'm coming from. That's it.
But also, who sits there and watch the 90-minute football, notes down the 22nd minute, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did, the 57th
I'm looking
minute.
back at my tweets.
But why would, like, surely you've got better things to do than that.
Rack, there's a simple answer.
1 second.
There's a simple answer for all this.
1 second. It's
Igal,
a Saturday. 1 second.
Igal,
it's a Saturday.
sick.
And if I'm going to review
sick.
the game, I'm going to actually have the points that I'm going to discuss. I'm not just going to come here and
Igal,
say
honestly, your points have no. You have no
57th minute, so-and-so.
Your points have no water. And honestly, I think you're sick, mate. I think 1 point in 12 has made you delusional. I know you're going through a really rough patch. I know you lost against Inter. I know you lost against Newcastle. But what you're doing is complete and utter BS right now, bro. And you know what? Terry, and Igal were on these streams last season. And all I had to hear from Igal was, Klopp is going, all your players are aging, there's nothing going forward. Igal, just literally, it takes a big man to say this. Just say you were wrong. Just say you were wrong. Say you underestimated my team. And say,
but that's my point, Terry. I don't want to interrupt you, Ram, but Terry never said Liverpool are finished. So if Terry is the type of person telling me right now, even Terry's not saying Liverpool, you must. The fact that you're the same person that said we're fucked because Klopp left and we didn't sign anyone. Now in November, you're telling me I must win the league. Have some shame, yeah.
You know what?
Where's your shame?
I'm caught between. 1 second. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Because one situation, I want my team to come catch up to you guys and overtake you and go on to win the league. But in the other hand, you guys are currently 5 points ahead, and the pressure needs to be put on you guys because this underdog thing cannot fly. You guys are currently in a situation where
we're definitely the underdog, brother. You're not, brother.
1 second. You guys are currently in a situation where you could potentially be going into the business end, not the business end, going into winter period. You guys could be the top of the league. And if you guys go into the January transfer window and strengthen in key areas, you could maybe solidify this league title and maybe
it's Liverpool's to lose from this point.
But I have seen you guys in this situation before and go and sign Kabak and some guy named Tom Davies or whatever. So
can I quickly just say something? You know that season was completely different, right? We lost Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and Joel Matip. Our only three central defenders.
Don't forget Fabinho and Henderson.
And then we lost Fabinho and Henderson. And then who were we playing? I can't even remember the guys. Reece Williams. I can't even remember his name. That's how long ago it was, and that's how we got him in. So it's not the same thing.
What I don't understand, Igal, from your point of view about looking at this game is that if I'm an Arsenal fan, there's only one decision where I'm sitting there and I'm saying that's BS, and that's Mohamed Salah getting pulled down for something worse than Saliba did in a more isolated position than Saliba was in, and there was no card. Fair play, we scored a goal, but that's the exact same play. If anything, he dragged him down worse with literally no one within 40 yards. He's same reason why you lost Saliba. I know that. It's the same reason why you guys lost Saliba versus us, which you then used as a way to say, listen, we drew, but we didn't have Saliba, we didn't have XYZ. They didn't get that man sent off. And to be honest with you, I'm happy he wasn't sent off because I would not have wanted to play that team with 10 men sitting in the low block they were sitting in, and we scored. But still, that's what you should be looking at and being angry at.
They let you guys play on. They let you guys play on. They let you guys play today. It wasn't the referee didn't want to ruin
the Mike's point, Igal. He's saying the Saliba red card is the same exact thing as the red card.
The only problem with that point is, though, is because the advantage was played and they scored, it's no longer a foul. Because
100%. It would have been blown dead, but it's the same foul.
Ironically, out of all the
He didn't give a
chances
foul.
Nunez has, he scores the hardest one, which stops Villa going down to 10 men. I was laughing so much.
He made it harder for himself. He could have if Nunez had taken his touch straight, he could have laid it off to Luis Diaz. But then he takes a poor touch and then does a ridiculous finish, and then he misses 2 one-on-ones. But you know what?
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Chaos ball.
Before I go, the only positive that I'm gonna take away from this game for you guys, obviously you guys won the game, you guys are top of the league, but Mohamed Salah, that guy, like, if anybody in the league cannot stop this guy after all these years, there's no game plan for him. He single-handedly is a one-man fast break. He'll destroy anybody. It's like basketball. He can carry a team offensively, and if you guys lose him for an extended period, that's what it would take for you guys.
I'm saying this about Mo Salah now, right? And I've been telling Liverpool fans this for years. You guys have got to start talking about him as again. I mean, this is never a dig. Sam takes it as a dig every time, but it isn't, because you're too emotional.
He's our greatest Premier League. He's our greatest Premier League player.
He's a great Premier League player, but you've got to start shouting it more. I'll tell you as to why. Let's say this season you win the Premier League and the Champions League. He then has the trophies and the stats for you to push him to become the Premier League GOAT. Because you think about Henry, some will say he's better, right? And I get the debate. Man didn't have a Champions League. This guy could have 2.
No, but he will never be the GOAT because
but you're forgetting something, right? Forget what you think subjectively. Forget what I think. Liverpool's power in the media with the pundit. It's not about what you and I think. It's about what the consensus is, essentially, via the media. And Liverpool are powerful in that space. They've just not realized that they honestly, the Liverpool powerhouse in the media could get this through. But Liverpool fans have got to drive it first. I'm just so glad you're not driving
my only rebuttal is, as the Premier League was growing and becoming a global scale, Henry was a big part of that. Henry was one of the main reasons why the Premier League became a global product. Mo Salah, yes, you could say he's a big part of making it a global product, maybe in the Middle East and that part of the world, for Liverpool growing their fan base in that part of the world. But I don't think Mo Salah is as big as a name as Henry was back when he was playing at Arsenal.
Listen,
it's subjective.
It is subjective, and I understand where you're coming from, and I still think Henry's the better player. But people get too caught up in that. I'm just telling you now, especially here in England, the ex-Liverpool pros in the media, if they start pushing something, it's about what the consensus is, and the consensus is this. On nearly every debate you'll watch on the mainstream, which still get more views than the YouTube put together, whenever a GOAT conversation comes up, for the last 15 years, this is how quick the debate has been. Somri. There's been like no challenge to it. And everyone's just gone along with it. Does that make sense? Rightly or wrongly, it doesn't matter. I'm talking objectively here. Liverpool have the potency as a football club to push it. And I don't understand why you don't push it more. It's mad to me.
You have the potency to push it as well. Why don't you push Rooney as the goal?
I try to push it, but then his arm shuts me down. He just passed Thierry Henry today in assists. Undeserved.
Terry, stop trying to make this civil war every time, okay?
The only thing I'd say about that is...
We're not going to have a Stevie G debate again, okay? Gerard's the reason why this club has a global fan base when we were shit for 20
By the way,
years.
I do push it. I still push Ryan Giggs as the Premier League GOAT, but there's a reason why nobody wants to stand on that one. Do you know what I mean? But I still push it as Giggs. But
the only thing I'd say about Salah is Salah doesn't necessarily get the recognition in Africa, let alone like in the Premier League. Like how many the dishonor or the disgrace that is that he's not even in like. Yeah, disrespect is that he's not in some of these world like 11s or like, you know, these 30 best players in the world and stuff like that. Like it is not just a Liverpool thing. There's a lot of looking down.
Sam, do you now understand though? Sam, do you now understand why, when it comes to Mo Salah, why I've said to you for years on a real level? Now, this is my subjectivity speaking. Why, when it comes down to the personal accolades players win or the awards they get put up for, or the because again, a lot of these awards that players get are the subjective opinions of journalists and pundits as well. It's why I'd never taken them that seriously, because so much of that is a popularity contest as opposed to the football player sometimes. And there are players that will get, there are players, would you agree or disagree with me that in the last 4 or 5 years, there are players that are not as good or consistent as Salah that have got more recognition than him on an individual level.
But there are levels to this. The reason why I use that argument for Scholes is because he never even made top 30, 20 years. Never even won Man United player.
You're too young to understand the lack of media.
I'm too young now.
No, you are too young. You don't remember what it was like in those days. That man didn't even have an agent, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird times. But away
it's
from
not
all
my
of that,
fault he's boring. That's a him problem.
No, but that's that era for you. It was like that, and to this day, he still don't give a shit. He's like, no. But look, he got approached once by Inter Milan when they were at their pomp, and they said, "We want to buy you," and he just responded by saying, "If you want to buy me, you better buy Man United." That was like that just wouldn't happen now. Do you know what I mean? It's different breed. Anyway, we're not getting into that.
It's not the same thing, by the way.
It's not. No, he didn't. He got threatened by gangsters not to leave
Inter,
your club.
Real Madrid.
He went to LA Galaxy.
Guys, we are not getting into this. I'm shutting this debate down. I don't want to get into it tonight.